Okay, so this would be the last video of the series for the topic basic data structure in Flutter or Dart. And in this video, we are going to discuss on how are we going to display the list of maps that we have discussed in the previous video into a list view. Okay, so what we have so far in our previous video is we have only printed the list of maps into our console. So now we are going to have it on a list view. Okay, so we have here our previous code. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm going to have my list view below our save button. So therefore, okay, so we are going to have it here. List view. Okay, so we have here our save record. So we are not going to print anymore, so I'm just going to comment out this. And since, again, just like with our previous video with our list and list view, again, we do not know how many items or how many elements are there in our list. So that is why what we're going to do here is we're not going to call or display directly a list view, but we must have to have a list view builder. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a function named create list view. Then we are going to return a list view builder. Okay, so a bit here. Then for our item builder, okay, so I hope you already memorized this one. So we're going to have the context and the index. Okay, and we are going to return. We're going to have directly our card. Then the child of the card would be a list title. Semicolon. Okay. So again, the very first thing that we're going to do here is we are going to identify the data source for our list view. So we're going to have the item count. So it would be coming from list count, a student's list that length. Okay. So that every time that the length, this value here, the length of the student's list is going to change, it is also going to rebuild our list view. Okay. So what I want to do here is I want to display the name on top, then subtitle would be my the course. Okay, the name and the course. Okay, so we have here for the title we are going to display students list, then the index, okay, and we have the name, just like this one here. Okay, except that instead that we're going to have a variable index, we used here a constant 0. So this one is going to display only the very first item or the very first element on our list. But here it is going to depend on the index. Okay. Then next is we are going to have the subtitle. Okay. I think that's it. Then from here, so that this is going to trigger the rebuild of our list view, so we must have to enclose this one here into a set state. It is because when we are going to add an item or an element into our students list, this is going to change. And once this is going to change, it is going to rebuild the whole list view here. So that whatever would be the newly added student or data will reflect into our list view. Okay, so I'm going to have here set state. Then I'm going to enclose this one here. Create list view. Okay, so I'm going to call it here now in our build method, create list view. And just like with our previous video, this is going to cause an error because of the size of the dynamic size of the list view. That is why what we are going to do is we are going to okay, so I'm going to wrap it with the expanded widget. Okay, let us try. So, oops. Okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we have Donald and BSIT. Save. Again, there's the error. Wait. Expected a type widget, but get one of the type string. Okay, so wait, where is this? So we have I think this one here, line 97. Oh, I guess we have this. We are passing actually here our map instead of our list. Okay. Oh, that's correct. Oh, I think we have this. Supposedly this is for a widget. So therefore, we are going to have text. Okay. Okay, let's try again. Reload. Okay, so let us try 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then again we have Donald, and of course we have BSIT. Then save. So as you could see here, oops, I got the same data, both Donald, because we have here both, we have names. So we just have to change this with course. So take note, the error was we have this before as only a string, but title actually is looking for a widget. Okay, so I'm going to reload. 1, 2, 3. Then we have Donald and BSIT. Save. So you can see here Donald now and BSIT. So if ever I'm going to add another one here, so we have Mickey, and Mickey Mouse is nursing. Save. So we have now Donald and Mickey here. So what I want next is that if ever I'm going to have a button here, because normally when we have a button, meaning we are going to it is going to respond to a click, or actually we could have also the on tap method for the card or for the list style, but I want now to have a button here. Okay, an arrow that when we are going to click, then it is going to respond and it is going to display. Okay, I'm just going to have a scaffold. No. a snack bar that is going to display the name, the course, and the ID of the selected item here. Okay, so that is why I'm going to have here, it's trailing. Okay, trailing widget. So I'm going to have an icon. Now, since it must be clickable, so therefore I'm going to have an icon button. Okay, and with an icon of arrow. Okay, so there, arrow right, then our anonymous function, oops, it should be outside the button, outside the icon, I mean. Okay, so we're going to have the on pressed, then the anonymous function. So what are we going to do here is I'm going to create first a function, a void function that is going to display selected student. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to have the name, so you'll do students list, then the index. Now I want the index, so the index is an integer, so I'm going to have it here, index, then name. Okay, because what I want is I'm going to pass here the selected index into the display selected function. Then it is going to extract from our list the name of the selected index. Okay, then I'm going to copy and paste. We have the course and the ID. I think it's school ID. Okay, you have it there, school ID. Okay. Then I'm going to display scaffold messenger of the current context that show, oops, snack bar. Okay, so we are now going to define here our snack bar with the content text, then say you selected, then the name, of course, with ID as ID. Okay, so I have here our name, by the way, string interpolation here, then we have the course, and we have our ID. Okay, so here I am now going to call display selected. So display selected, and we are going to pass our index, the selected index. This index here is going to, actually the value of the index as it is going to create, this one here is going to be passed into our display selected. So we're going to have here a const. Okay, so we're going to have a review. So we have created here an icon button so that it could have an onPressed method, because what we are going to do is if ever the user click on the button here, it is going to display through a snack bar the name, ID, and course of the selected student. What I'm trying to emphasize here now is that I want you to take note, is that only two values are displayed into our list view. But when we are going to display it into our snack bar, it is going to include the ID of the selected student. Okay? So how did we do that? We just passed the index, not the index of this one here. Okay, by the way, the index of the list view that corresponds to the index of the elements into our list, and we extracted the values not from the list view but from the list. Okay, so that is why we have extracted here the value for our ID or the school ID. Okay, so save, then okay, so we have 1, 2, 3 Donald BSIT. Click. So here our button. You can still improve that one. Donald, then Mickey, and BSN. Okay, and click for Donald here. So we could see now you selected Donald of BSIT with ID 12. Okay, how about Mickey with 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you could still add here actually a leading icon, but then you are going to do that when it would be your turn. Okay, so what I want now is I'm going to sort the display onto my list view. So I have here, okay, I'm going to use a comparator. Okay, I just copied here. Actually, I just have this code from somewhere else from the internet. So still, I'm using here the sort method of the list, and we have then the comparator function here. Okay, it is an anonymous function, by the way. If ever that we are going to have here this one, it could be an anonymous function or a lambda or the arrow function that serves as our comparator. It defines how two elements A and B, this one here, should be compared during the sorting process. And by the way, the default sorting algorithm used by the list is we have the intro sort algorithm. So I'm not going to go deeper on the details on how it is going to compare. Okay, but as you can see here, I am comparing now the elements through their names. That's why, as you can see here, the A, okay, we are using here our name, okay, and also the name. So name compared against a name. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this one here. Then here, I'm going to have the sorting process on the set state. Save, reload. One, two, three. Alright. If ever I'm going to add Donald, supposedly Donald will be after Mickey. But since we have here we have sorted our list, so we would expect that Donald will be before Mickey. For Donald, save. So as you can see there, we have Donald and Mickey. Okay. D, then let us say we have D, F, Fe. Save. Fe as in between Donald and Mickey. Click, save it there. Okay? So that's the end of the series for our topic, basic dealing or working with the basic data structure in Flutter.